Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you guys are new. In today's video, I thought it would be fun to create a fun kind of eye look with you guys. I put a poll on my community tab here on YouTube, and I also asked you guys over on Instagram kind of what you might want to see. I'm going to try and kind of combine a few of the entries that you guys suggested. So some of the suggestions that you guys sent in were a Valentine's Day look, a very wintry, like sparkly, maybe blue look, something very colorful, something mixing colors. So I'm thinking I'm gonna create a look that is pink and blue, a little bit Valentine's Day, a little bit wintry, definitely mixing colors there. And then I really wanna have a lot of sparkles on them. So I feel like that's kind of a good mix of everything that you guys put in. One person said a whole rainbow. I hear you. I will try and create a whole rainbow look sometime soon. So I'll keep that in mind for sure for the next time I do a video like this. So if you guys want to see like a whole type of rainbow look, let me know down below and I'll definitely add that to my schedule to film. But for today, I hope that kind of mixing some of these colors will be enough for you guys. Maybe I can put like a third color on the lower lash line or something, but I am just wanting to dig in. If you've seen my recent Shop My Stash video, you might know that I've taken out all of my eyeshadow palettes from my vanity. I'm trying to figure out how I want to use my vanity because I want to build a new one. So for the time being, I've put all of my palettes in this giant bin, which is usually what I use as my empties bin. But today I'm just going to kind of like dig through, pick out several palettes that I think will work for kind of what I'm thinking I want to create. The first one is going to be the Give Me Glow Pastel Dreams palette. This of course has really pretty pinks and blues here. I also am thinking about maybe adding in that purple on the lower lash line, but we'll kind of see how it goes. But definitely this one for some pinks and blues. I might end up reaching into these kind of periwinkle shades from Give Me Glow Cosmetics as well, my singles. I'm gonna pull that in. I don't want it to be totally pastel though. I do want to have some kind of depth to the look. Someone did say a really smoky eye too, so I'll keep that in mind. See if I can kind of build some depth up. Definitely for a blue look, I've got to bring in my Nomad Iceland palette. This one has some really pretty blue shades that I would love to reach into. I think I should bring in these two Huda palettes as well. I don't know how much I'll reach into them, but I want to have them kind of out ready to use. They do have some pretty pink shades, especially this new Nudes palette has a lot of really nice pink shades. Also got some pretty pinks in my Lethal Custom palette. Lastly, I think maybe the Nomad Cartagena palette because there are some neutrals. I want to put neutrals kind of up in the crease. I don't really like to bring too much color up to the brow. So I think that's definitely enough to at least get us started. I don't know that I'll dip into all of these palettes, but these are kind of the ones I'm going to be reaching for. Any that I do actually reach into, I'll go ahead and link for you below. If I reach for the Lethal one, I'll try and list the shades of the palette, but it was a custom palette where you pick your own single shades and stuff. So I'll try and link below anything I actually end up using. I want to prime the eyelids with this. This is the About Face Smoothing Shadow Fix. This is an eyeshadow primer. I just picked it up a couple weeks ago and I've been using it in my kind of Shop My Stash rotation. I really like this so far. I feel like it's been helping my shadows last all day long without any creasing. So I really like it a lot. I wish it was a little bit more pigmented, like it would cover up some veins, but I'm noticing that's not really been the style of eyeshadow primers I feel like that are coming out lately. But you know, that's just wishful thinking. I'm actually bring you guys in a little bit closer so that you can actually see the eye look. I'm gonna show you the shadows I'm actually using in the palettes, but this is something that if you were trying to create something like this, just look in your collection for similar shades. You absolutely do not need to own like all 8 palettes that I'm about to use. This is just something that, you know, I enjoy reaching for multiple palettes for a more creative look. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, like what I'm actually using. But I'm gonna start reaching into the new Nudes palette. This one is by Huda. I'm reaching into the lightest cream shade. I'm just gonna set down the eyeshadow primer. I do like to set down my primer most of the time, especially when I'm going in with a colorful look because I don't want the colors to skip on the primer. This is the first colorful look I've created with the About Face primer. I'm not saying that that would happen with it, but for me in general, I just prefer to set it down with a shade that's similar to my skin tone, which is typically the lightest cream shade in a palette. For the crease and up to the transition, I want to dip between a light tan shade and a little bit of a pink shade. These are from the Mercury Retrograde palette, and I want to just kind of put this in the crease a little bit Mostly I think I want to put pink on the inner corner and then blue on the outer corner. But I want to build the pink up all the way across the crease, and then I'll blend some blue into it because I feel like this is a little bit more of a flattering crease shade for me. I kind of feel like I want to put a lot of shades on the lid, so I want to kind of like build up the crease, and then I'm probably going to do a cut crease for the shimmer shades. I feel like that'll give me the most opportunity to use more shades. Next, from the Give Me Glow Pastel palette, I'm going to dip into the matte pink shade and build this into the inner half of the crease. With a different brush, this one is a fluffy kind of crease brush. I'm gonna go into the matte blue shade, and I want to start to put this on the outer portion of the crease, but I don't really want to like overlap the pink and blue too much. I want them to kind of just mesh just in the middle and then kind of stay on their own sides. That's why I'm making sure to use a different brush for the blue. This one takes a little bit more building just because it's a blue pigment. I feel like sometimes you have to build them a little bit more than a neutral shade or even a pink. I'm gonna go back in with the pink brush, picking up a little bit more pink to blend right here in the middle. I'm just gonna keep going back and forth with the blue and the pink. I'm gonna go back in with that really light nude shade and blend on top of the matte shades. I want to add in a little bit of this more like dusty blue. It's not so pastel. It's got a little bit of like a gray undertone. I'm just gonna build this not quite as high as the pastel blue, but on top of the blue as well. With a more tightly packed kind of dense shader brush, I'm gonna pick up some of this Periwinkle matte shade and make sure to tap my brush off. This isn't exactly necessary because if some of it falls, then that's fine. I can just build it up later. I'm gonna add a little bit more of this like dusty light blue, and I'm just blending back and forth. I was thinking I would do the cut crease all across the lid, but I think I'll just do like a half cut crease because I do want to try and build up a good bit of depth here on the outer corner. On another brush, I'm gonna pick up this really dark blue. I'm gonna put this on the very outer corner. I do want to bring shimmers all across the entire lid just because I'm going for that super kind of sparkly sort of a look, but I want to build up the depth with the matte shades first on the outer corner. And as usual, I'm not worried about this outer corner too much because I will clean it up here in a minute with a makeup wipe. I'm gonna build up more of the pink shade again. I think a little bit of it just got kind of brushed away with all the blending of the blue. I want to use the pink from this Profusion palette. I am going to go ahead and use, I'll probably use another brush. I want to be able to blend them, but I want to pick up something that's just a little bit more bright of a pink. And just like the blue, I want to put this closer to the lid and not bring it up so high. And then for the pink again, I'm going to pick this kind of like cranberry shade up just above where I would cut the crease with concealer. I'm just continuing to blend all the pinks. I'm going to go ahead and clean up the outer edge with the makeup wipes and kind of get a feel for where the look is going. And I want to kind of clean it up a little bit less than I might would. Sometimes I mess up this step by taking away too much of the outer corner. So I'm trying to kind of keep it back a little bit more. For the cut crease, I want to use this Profusion Pigment Base Eyeshadow Primer in the shade White. I want it to just be like as stark of a color underneath the shimmers as I can because I think that'll make them pop a little bit more. So on a very small kind of angled brush or kind of more like a dome, I'm going to pick up the shade or the primer and then kind of carve out where I want the cut crease. I like to kind of start down by the lashes and then open my eye and see where the color transfers up. That always helps me try and get a better cut crease look because I do have hooded eyes. So when I'm gonna open my eye, it's going to naturally do that anyways. So I try and just kind of use that to help me. And then on the outer portion of where I'm putting that, I'm kind of using my finger to blend it into the blue shade so it's not just like a stark line. I think I'm happy with that. And then I'll put the shimmer shades on top of the cut crease. Okay, I think that's about as even as I'm going to get them. I typically just do one eye and then the other because one will probably crease while I work on the other, but I went ahead and did two because I want to put on a lot of shimmer shades and I'm going to have a hard time remembering what I did on one eye to do on the other one later. So I'm just going to do them at the same time. So I want to start out with the pink shade since that's mostly what the cut crease is going to be. I'm trying to figure out kind of which pinks I want to use. Definitely this one, the lightest pink in the Mercury Retrograde palette. I think this one from New Nude might be a little bit too kind of neutral for what I'm looking for. And I was thinking about the pink from the Pastel Dreams palette. Those are really pretty together. And then from my Lethal palette, got some pretty pinks in here too. I kind of like this one. It's kind of got some blue in it. I'm going to try it out with a brush first. I'm going to pick up the shimmery pink shade from the Give Me Glow pastel palette. And see, it's already creasing a little bit. So I'm going to tap that out and then put the shimmer on. I don't want to put it on like the very inner corner here because I want to put that Huda shade on. But this shade I want to be kind of most of the cut crease. Right here I want to leave blank, and then right here I want to leave blank. But the rest of it I want to put this shade on. Really like that one. And this is going on very nicely over the white eyeshadow base. Okay, I'm going to pick up the light pink shade from the Huda palette on my pinky finger and put this on the very inner corner. And I'm also going to blend that onto the other pink shade we just put down. And I don't mind if some of the shimmer comes over the cut crease. I kind of like that better. I don't like when it looks super stark different. I like it to kind of look like maybe I didn't cut the crease. It just kind of really pops, but I like that sort of a look where they blend together. The reason I cut the crease is because I put a little bit of a deeper pink and I wanted the shimmers to show true to color versus having that deeper pink underneath them. I'm going to pick up that same shimmery pink shade from the pastel palette on my finger this time and build it up because I do want this to be a pretty intense shimmery look. I also want to use this Supermoon really light shimmery shade from the Huda palette, and I want to top that over like the first third of the eyelid. So it's just going to add a good bit of extra sparkle. For the third pink shade, I'm going to pick up this one. I think this one was called Incarnate, but I'm not sure. I'll try and link it below again from Lethal. This is from my little custom palette. I want to put this on the outer portion of all the pinks because it has a blue shift to it. So I think that'll kind of be a good transition into the blue shades. I love looks like this though, where you put like 4 or 5 or 6 different shimmer shades on the lid. I just think it looks so cool. All right, with a brush with the blues on it, I'm just going to blend the edge right here so I can put those blue shimmer shades, because this is a little bit more of like a chunky pink shimmer shade. Okay, now time to pick the blues. I've got a periwinkle option. I really like that one. That might be my first one. I'm definitely going into this palette for another blue. Yeah, let me start with that periwinkle shade. So this one's also from Give Me Glow. This is called Peri. And I'm just going to put this here right next to where I put that last pink shade. I'm actually going to go ahead and bring this all the way out to the outer corner. Brought that in a little bit too far, so I'm adding more pink over it. I'm going to add more of the pink pastel shade. This one seems to be kind of like the most sparkly or like metallic looking, I feel like. And then I'm going to add just a tiny little bit of the blue shimmer shade as well, right in between the pink and blue shades. I feel like I've created a look pretty similar to this on multiple occasions. This is one of my favorite color combos. But I typically would only dip into like 1 or 2 palettes. So this has been fun to kind of dip into a lot of them. I'm going to clean up that outer edge again and also the fallout underneath the eye. Trying to decide if I want to go deeper. I think I do. I think I'm gonna do like a really dark blue on the outer corner. So I've got dark blues here. I'm thinking these would be what I'm looking for. I kind of think this one. It's like really deep blue. I'm gonna pick it up on a small kind of eyeshadow brush. This one almost has a teal undertone to it, like a teal sparkle. I'm just gonna pack this on at the very outer corner. Cleaning up the outer edge again. I kind of feel like the pinks are blending into one another, kind of looking the same. So once again, I want to pick up the lightest pink from the Huda palette and put this on the very inner portion. It has a different type of sparkle to it, so I think you can kind of tell a difference. And then I want to top that one more time with that really light white sort of shade. It just has white shimmers to it. It doesn't really have a base. I don't know if that's gonna mess it up. I think this might be too like hot pink to put right in the center there. I'm gonna try it. This is from the other Nomad palette I was using. I'm gonna just tap like a tiny bit right here, right next to the blue. I think I'll top this again with the Lethal palette, so I think it might work out. Maybe I should use this one, honestly. Yeah, I'm gonna top it with this other kind of mid-tone pink shimmer. Can always layer. Okay, I'm gonna layer that again with this like pink to blue shifting shade from the Lethal palette. And then with that very first brush I used, I just want to kind of blend, because that one is pretty chunky, like I said earlier. So I'm just blending super lightly over the shimmer shades to help them blend together. I'm also going to blend on top of all of the shades that are in the crease. Okay, I think that's pretty much how I'm going to leave it on the top of the lid. I think I'm going to put that purple kind of hint on the bottom though. I'm trying to decide if I should put a winged liner on. So with a black pencil liner, I'm going to line the tight line. Usually with a more pastel look, I wouldn't do this. And I didn't fully intend for this to be like super pastel, but I'm not mad at it. So I kind of want to add the black liner to add some dimension. I'm going to put that in the waterline as well. The only black liquid liner I have right now is the Grande liner. I've been meaning to pick up a new one from e.l.f. They're H2O proof, which is my favorite. I'm not the best at doing a winged liner with this kind of a liner, but I'm going to try it out. It's been so long since I've done a winged liner. That took forever. I'm actually going to tap a little bit of glitter on top of the pink side and blend it in with the blue. This is a pressed glitter from Nabla. I feel pretty safe using these on the eyes. Sometimes I feel weird about pressed glitters, but I've never had any problems with this one in particular. This is the Miami Lights glitter palette. I feel like it sticks really nicely, so I just haven't really ever noticed any problems with it. Yeah, I think that added just a nice bit of sparkle. I think I'll go ahead and add some of the more like periwinkle type shade too. Kind of like the nebulous shade from Mercury Retrograde actually. But I'm just gonna add a tiny bit of that because it can pull slightly purple. I'm gonna clean up the fallout from when I blended all the shimmer shades with the brush. Kind of got some on my face. I don't want to wear false lashes today, but I do want to curl the lashes and then really build up the mascara. I'm gonna build up the mascara. This is the Ilia Limitless Lash. Do the rest of my face makeup and then I'll come back to finish up the lower lash line. Okay, I got the rest of my makeup done other than the lower lash line. I did actually film a video testing this out. This is the new Essence Keep Me Covered foundation, so keep an eye out on my channel for that. It will likely be my next video after this one, but this is how it looks, just like a little bit of a spoiler. But let's finish up the lower lash line. Well, actually, I need to fix the outer portion of this eye a little bit because I accidentally got my concealer up a little bit too high, so I want to blend that out. I'm gonna need to be very careful doing this though because I don't want to mess it up. So just with a very, very light hand, I'm trying to add that. Okay, I'm gonna leave it at that. I barely put anything on, but I feel like it matches better than it did, so I'm gonna leave it because I always mess it up if I try and do too much and fix it. So I think that's fine. Okay, so I'm gonna take this La La Land shade. This is a matte purple from the Gimme Glow Pastel Dreams palette. I'm gonna really tap the brush off because I don't want this to end up having any fallout on my face now that my face makeup is done. So I want to put this all across the lower lash line and make sure to blend it in to the blue on the outer edge there. Okay, I really like that on the lower lash line. So then the last thing, and I guess I'll do an inner corner highlight, but the last thing for the lower lash line is to pick up this shimmery purple shade. I love this one. It's my favorite shade in the whole palette. Can you see that it has a pretty big dip in it, especially in comparison to any of the other shades? This is my favorite for sure. I don't know how well this brush is picking it up, but I would like to kind of stamp this on the inner portion of the lower lash line. Okay, I'm gonna take a tiny little bit on my finger and try that. I want it to be just a little bit more intense. Yeah, I think that's better. But I'm being very, very careful. I love that. Okay. Then we need an inner corner highlight. I'm gonna go with the Old Faithful. My favorite inner corner highlight is the shade Sassy from Persona Identity 1. It's just so good. I really wanted like a nice bright inner corner. This didn't get as smoky as I wanted it to. Definitely more pastel, but I was kind of trying to lean into that sort of like icy, sort of wintry look with a little bit of Valentine's with the pink. I'm actually really liking this look. I feel like this is like my go-to colorful look. Okay, I'm gonna put mascara on the lower lash line. I just feel like my eyes look weird without it. Just don't really prefer to leave that out. I don't know, I just feel like that looks more like me. Okay, so this is the completed look. I feel like this is a very Kirsten type of look. This is not something I've never done before, but I did really enjoy reaching into so many palettes and just kind of being able to be creative without feeling like I had to use a certain shade from a certain palette. So this is the final eye look. I feel like I did a good job, I think, of mixing all of the kind of entries together that you guys put in there. I feel like this is a little bit rainbowy because it has 3 shades in it versus just the 2. But it still is like color blocking, wintry. It's a little bit smoky, but not really. I tried. But yeah, let me know down below what you guys think. And also if you have any more suggestions of whatever type of look you want to see, let me know, because I had a really good time filming this one. So if you guys did enjoy today's video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Also, if you want to subscribe to my channel, be sure to do that and turn on the post notification bell. You guys will be able to get notified when my video comes out testing this Essence foundation, and also all of my other videos. So let me know down below if there's anything else that you guys want to see from me. But other than that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.